Hello there, welcome to Kirkston Pass. You see the struggle behind me, which you're not doing on the Fred Whitton. Count yourself lucky, it's a bugger. So, you've already seen my Fred Whitton guide video. That encompasses most things. For really detailed advice, go and watch my film. I'll put a link up in the top corner for you. This video is all about the descents. Last year I did similar, but I recorded everyone and published everyone separately. I'm going to do it slightly different this year. I've actually been out and recorded all bar Kirkston yesterday. I went out and almost did the Fred Whitton yesterday, plus a little bit extra here or there. And I've come back to Kirkston this morning because I ran out of time yesterday. I'm going to film the descent for you now. I'm going to put everything together in one video, and then future Scott is going to overlay it all with some talking, just to point out the pinch points and the certain areas which I will have picked up while out on the bike yesterday. Yeah, there's nothing huge change from last year, but you know, for those of you who are new and wanting to find something, this is where to find it. I'm not going to talk about all the ascents because I'm going to save them for you anyway. Right, I'm going to get on with it. So, welcome to the descent, the voiceover. Future Scott here, hello. Now, I'm going to go through these bit by bit. Not going to go too long on them because some of it's totally pointless to talk about. This is Kirkston. You've just done your first big hill. Kirkston is a beautiful new smooth surface. Well, it was new for the Fred 2024, but nothing has changed. It's the fastest descent and it is the least dangerous as long as you're careful and don't go veering onto the wrong side of the road all the time. Remember, it is a live traffic lane. I'm only crossing the road here because the line of sight is very good. It's more obvious when you're on the course. Now here's where you get up to your higher speeds. There's 2 points. There's one just here and one a little bit further down. I'll mention it at the time. So you're getting up some proper speed here. Again, you've got a good line of sight here. So I'll cross the central there and cut across here. Again, see where you're going. All is fine. The first pinch point is just coming up now. You're around this corner here. You'll see a car coming round. Bit of brakes here. Slow yourself down for this right left, especially if there's traffic coming. Again, you can stay in your lane here. And now you can get a proper wriggle on. You can see all of the way down here. It's ace. You can really get a hand. See, I'm tucked in. Again, you just flow beautifully around this bit. And it's a series of little flip-flop, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's awesome here. Again, only cross the centre if you know there's nothing coming. Obviously, there's going to be more riders on the day. I did this when there was nothing on the road. You can keep the hammer down basically all the way. If you wish, I am not forcing anyone to go in a dangerous speed. You be as safe as you feel. If you're uncertain, slow it down. It's pointless trying to kill yourself for the sake of it. Again, look at this. You're just absolutely motoring down. It's very safe here now. You're getting towards the really shallow gradients. You're coming up to the Brothers Water Inn on the left soon, and then it's a nice easy run all the way down to the Hartsop turn where you get back on level ground. Excuse me, coughing. I've got the camera in my mouth. So I'm just going to let this one run through and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, we'll move on to Honister. Excuse the camera angle, that'll change in a second. You pass through these gates and you're immediately into steep and bumpy. Honister is the most dangerous generally on the Fred. You see I'm on the right hand side of the road here. It tends to be smoother, but be aware Honister is a busy place. There's a visitor centre at the top, tends to be quite a lot of cars. Now you can see how much care I'm taking here. There's a little left right here and the road surface is not great at all. So I'm being really careful here. You can see in the shadows the bike moving around, my arms rattling around. The road surface is really bumpy. So you've got to be careful here. And around this left hand side, left hand corner especially, it gets lumpy there. And then this right hand is really horrible. That road surface is appalling. Very careful there. You can just see I'm coming up to the bridge. Again, still rattling around. Flop over this bridge, say thank you to the traffic for waiting for you. And now you can basically let it flow most of the way down to Buttermere. So just checking. I was on a long day. They got me got me frame bag on. I'm just going to show you a couple of little bits where it's fast down here. It's absolutely lovely. You can see the views are spectacular. Again, you've got awesome line of sight. Keep your eyes in the distance for any cars or passing pedestrians or cyclists that might be coming up the hill. So you're really getting a wriggle on here, but the road surface is a lot better here. Let it flow underneath you. Don't worry. So you've got a little cut through there. You've just got a little flowy bit left right here. But basically, as far as the danger bits of Honister, that is it. It's a lovely run in now. You'll be getting real flow down to the feed station at Gatesgarth Farm, which is down at the bottom of the hill. Anyway, moving on. Newlands I have chopped into a couple of 2-3 bits. Basically, this very first bit here is short, steep. This little bit here, it's 24%, I think, this little ramp down here. You see the views are spectacular. There's a few potholes here on this part of the road, so just be aware. There's one particularly bad one. I can't remember exactly where it is, sorry. Here, I say, is the first farm. You see, busy. I think something was happening this day, but it highlights exactly how careful you need to be. You come to this farm and there's a tight right-hander, gravel everywhere. And you think that's done, and nope, it's instantly to a very sharp, very steep left-hand hairpin. Again, that's steeper than it looks on camera. It's deceiving. And then round here, usually a bit of gravel. Part here with the house, it's not particularly dangerous this bit, but it's narrow and there's a bit of traffic, so just be aware. And obviously the road surface as well. It's not great. But literally a few hundred yards later, you're around this corner, shocking road surface, into a little corner, and then there's a tight right-hander hairpin. There's usually a bit of gravel on the outside here as well, and a pothole, so just be careful there. Bit of any notice after this little cattle grid, where it becomes obviously shaded, it's a little bit thinner. Again, it's a pinch point for traffic, so therefore it's a pinch point for you. We had a few cars on the way down here today, so just be aware. You're coming down towards Braithwaite here, gorgeous views of Blencathra and Skiddaw in the distance. That's it really. Let's see, traffic all backed up. We actually get stuck behind this vehicle. This might happen to you. Do not get frustrated. They're there, just like we are. We move on to Windlatter. Sorry, adjusting the camera. Now you've just left. You'll still hear the cowbells here. I'm not going to bother showing you all of this because the first couple of miles, or a few k's, is pretty sedate but gorgeous. So let's stop this and move on. Moving on, you see the sign on the left there. There's a good indication. You come around this corner, you can still crack on down here, but as soon as you enter the trees there's a couple of right-handers. So we just moved down into here, and obviously if it's under the trees it's more likely to be wet. So these are actually called Kamicazi, the Kamicazi section on Strava. So this one and the next one, gotta be careful of cars coming up. All grand, and then you've got a lovely quick descent for the next proper pinch point. Down this little chute here, a sharp left. You've got decent line of sight, as you see. I'll have to be careful of a car that's coming. Tuck in, there you go. Do not overshoot that, please. And as we come down towards the bottom, you'll see this big house on the right there. That's a sign that you're getting very close to the bottom. There's a sharp left turn that's a part of the course. You're entering Lawton, the sign's up here on the left. You see the left-hand turn for Buttermere. Keep an eye out, there'll be a marshal just in the road here, I'll be pointing your left. Hang a left here, it's a tight junction. Down this little blast of downhill. And then you've got a T-junction at the bottom, so you need to be on your brakes. Prepared for hanging a left just here into Lawton itself. Now we move on to Coldfell. You know it's Coldfell because you can see the Irish Sea and Sellafield down there. I'm just showing you this little bit to show that this isn't the bit that you should be looking out for. Let's move on to that bit. The cattle grid there is a sign that you're onto the descent bit with the actual road. The road surface isn't great here, and there's 2 exact points to look out for, really. 3? Should I say 3? Let's get on to them. Tell you what, let's play this one in full, because it's quite a short descent. And it's nice. You tend to be not with a huge amount of people here. So you just gently hanging on to the left here. There's a right-hander here which you might need to apply some brakes for, especially look at the road surface. It's just, it rattles you around to run. That's why you need 32mm tyres. So yeah, just a dab of brake before that bit, and then we move on. It's all good from here. You'll have passed a couple of farms, gone a bit of an uphill, and then into this little tree section here. So be wary on this right turn. It's a little bit gravelly sometimes, but you can't really see it here. There's a hairpin left right there. Look, here it is, brakes on. The road surface is still shocking, especially on the inside, so be really wary there. And you've got like a really tight right-hander here. That's it, you're done. Okay, we'll move on to the daddies now, the proper ones. Excuse me. Hard knot. You've just burst your lungs coming out of here. As you can see, it's a tiny little road. My handlebars are shaking all over the shop, so extreme care should be taken at all times on here. I'm just going to play this along so you can see. I can't pinpoint any specific locations really. You've just got to be careful on the whole descent. So watch as many times as you feel safe and get familiar with it, because around any corner could be a hairpin. You can see quite a lot of them coming. Again, you cannot see how steep this is, but it really is steep here. It's like 15%, 20% in bits. There's your first hairpin. Chunky road surface. You just see it wiggling its way down the hill. And just as you think you're getting some speed up, another one. And then look, another one. And you think, oh, right, it's got to be over soon. Nah, mate. Here's another. And no, let's go again. We'll cut that one. Still going. Really tight one to the left now. You can just see the lumps everywhere. Finally, you get a little bit of relief for about 3 seconds. Down here. Look out for people parked in the middle of the road, obviously. This bit's okay here. You're just worrying if your brakes are boiling by now. Again, you won't have you will not have problems with traffic. Well, you shouldn't anyway, because Hard Knot all the way over Hard Knot, Rhinos and Bletown is close to traffic on the morning of the Fred. So you're grand. You're not quite over here. I'm just going to keep this playing, because you get around the shoulder here and there's one more little tight turn and some shoddy road surfaces, of course, part of the course. Imagine what this would be like with a new surface. Oh god, it'd be delicious. But yeah, that would probably end up with a severe visit to A&E, I think. As I say, I'm still playing this last little bit through, because there's a little, not surprise, but there's a little corner around the shoulder just here before you get to the river. Look out for the belties. Gorgeous things. Spooked it. There you go, here's that little right-hander. Just keep an eye out for that. Over them potholes there. And then you're down to the bridge. See where the house is there. It's just such a gorgeous place. Little jump left. And over the cattle. No, yes, cattle grid. Instant left. Next. Okay, Rhinos. It's more of the same really. I've already come over the crest here, but this will show you how obvious it is that it gets fast quick. You don't really have time to take in the amazing views unless you stop. If you want to take in the views, stop and look. You're not going to be able to look at them on the way down. Again, put your concentration face on. Look out for any potholes. loads. And yeah, try and enjoy it. I know some people do. I do. Lots of people don't particularly enjoy it at all. But again, there's a couple of pinch points on Rhinos that you just need to be more aware of. You're on the brakes for quite an amount of it, but you start really going downhill here. It's a little shoot as you cross this crest. There you go, start shooting down here. Look, the road surface is just appalling. It's worse than last year if anyone did it last year. You can let it flow slightly down here, but you're still on the brakes, whatever. Otherwise, you're just getting ahead of yourself. You've got a good line of sight. That's the beauty of Rhinos. But don't be deceived. You come around this corner, you think, oh, this is lovely, you can get a real move on. But then, hairpin, just coming up, hairpin left. So be careful around there, and you can see the road all the way down there. My normal advice to people, if they're confident descending, is get on the right hand side of the road. The surface tends to be a little bit smoother. But I mean, you know, it's the best of two crappy choices really. So just let it waz down here a bit if you're happy. Again, stay right if you're faster, stay left if you're not as confident. And there's one more pinch point coming up I want to make you aware of, just like I did last year. It is important because, you know, it's potentially dangerous. Swing round to the left here. It's a little bit blind, so again, you shouldn't have a problem with traffic. I'm just going to let this run on a little bit. You can see Bletown in the distance on the left, your last climb. It looks like they've actually got some yellow patches here for future resurfacing, which could help, even if it's just pothole filling. So you just get around this corner here, you'll swing a bit more downhill, steepens up a touch here. There's a sign on the left, take note of that, because the left-hand side, the left-hander that's coming up just now is tighter than it looks, and there's sometimes gravel there, and obviously this wall on the right can be hazardous. And you just run down to the bottom, and there's a cattle grid and an immediate right hand turn, so care to be taken here. So get through the grid. There's usually loads of gravel here, so slow down loads before you turn right there. Bingo, Rhinos is done. On to the last one, Bletown. You'll get almost your congratulations here. Go through the cattle grid, taking that view. Just look at it, it's amazing. But again, it's 25% in bits, and as you can see, again, the road surface is shonky at best. This bit's okay, but there's a hairpin coming up pretty quickly. I mean, you can see how the vans and cars are parked. Sharp left here. You see I'm looking. It is lumpy, it's really lumpy. You can't really let it flow a massive amount down here. This is the only bit where you can let it free, and the very bottom, but you'll see it in a moment. Hopefully all these cars won't be here. Round the corner carefully. Tiny bit of flow, and then past the sign, lots of hairpins coming up. There's your first to the left, that sneaks up on you quickly. Straight round to the right. Bingo to the left again. Tip it in, have a great time. Tip it in right. And now you can let it flow a little bit. The marshals will start shouting you in a second to tell you that you might be going too fast. You need to rein it in pretty early here, because at the bottom there is a cattle grid and a corner after the cattle grid that leads straight into that farm building, and that is going to win if you hit it. Just be aware, it's not quite over here, it flattens off, but as you turn right here, the road surface on the right hand side is utterly terrible. Keep to the left. Trust me, I was filming last year and I had a GoPro bounce off the back of a car. It was that bad. Anyway, that is your lot. All of the descents in one. I hope this has been informative. Let me know if it has. Watch it as many times as you need to. I hope it's helped. I will see you on the day. And be careful and have a great time. Lots of love. I'll see you on the next one.